What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Monday, March 25th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay, who do we have at the shooting guard position? Of course, we have Damian Lillard with no CJ McCollum, but I like Mike Conley from the Memphis Grizzlies playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing point guards. Mike Conley has scored 35 and 56 fantasy points in his last 2 games, averaging 38.6 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 33 minutes per game with a 28% usage rate. Mike Conley is $7,500 DraftKings salary. He's $1,700 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 45.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's 6.1 times value. That projection may be a little high, but there's no Avery Bradley, so that should bring Mike Conley's minutes and usage up. There's an implied total of 218.5 points in this game. This is a fast-paced game, a home game. Guards normally score really well versus Westbrook, so I like Mike Conley here tonight versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Remember, we added projected ownership, and that will be updating throughout the day as injury news changes. We also added the fantasy points per minute stat here for each player, and we also added a stat that's new to the industry. We call it the hit percentage, and it's the percent chance this player has to hit value at his current DFS salary. And you can access all these new stats even on mobile devices by tapping the dash rank icon. Okay, who do we have at the shooting guard position? I like Jimmy Butler from the Philadelphia 76ers playing the Orlando Magic, who have the 6th best defense overall, but they're middle of the pack defending opposing shooting guards. Jimmy Butler has scored 44, 32, and 47 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 36.9 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 34 minutes per game with a 23% usage rate. Jimmy Butler is $7,400 DraftKings salary. He's $1,400 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 36.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's just about 5 times value. Jimmy Butler's been the man in crunch time. I prefer him now over Tobias Harris, who just kind of sitting out on the wing, hawking those 3-point shots, playing away from the basket, not as many rebounds. There's an implied total of 219.5 points in this game, so I like Jimmy Butler here versus the Orlando Magic. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the position optimizer where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new player trends tool where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, who do we have at the small forward position? I like Farouq Aminu from the Portland Trailblazers playing the Brooklyn Nets, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Farouq Aminu has scored 35, 11, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 23.5 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 29 minutes per game with a 13% usage rate. Farouq Aminu is $4,300 DraftKings salary. He's $600 more on FanDuel, projected at 23.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.5 times value. Farouq Aminu has scored 27 and 34 fantasy points in his last 2 games versus Brooklyn. There's an implied total of 225.5 points in this game. This is a home game, a fast-paced game, and a fantastic matchup. I like Farouq Aminu as a nice value play here versus the Brooklyn Nets. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, who do we have at the power forward position? I like Aaron Gordon from the Orlando Magic playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Aaron Gordon has scored 14, 46, and 39 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 33.5 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 34 minutes per game with a 22% usage rate. Aaron Gordon is $7,000 DraftKings salary. He's $700 more on FanDuel, projected at 34.7 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. There's an implied total of 219.5 points in this game, so Aaron Gordon can be a scary player, as he showed last game with only 14 DraftKings points in 39 minutes. I hope that scares people off, because Aaron Gordon plays really well versus the Philadelphia 76ers. He scored 40, 40, 47, 34, and 43 fantasy points versus the Philadelphia 76ers in the last 5 games. I love that player versus team history. This is a home game, a fast-paced game, and a fantastic matchup, so I love Aaron Gordon here versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like Jusuf Nurkic from the Portland Trailblazers playing the Brooklyn Nets, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing centers. Jusuf Nurkic has scored 30, 29, and 34 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 37.4 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 27 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. Jusuf Nurkic is $6,900 DraftKings salary. He's $1,500 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 37.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.4 times value. There's an implied total of 225.5 points in this game. This is a home game, a fast-paced game, and the matchup can't get any better versus a Brooklyn team that gives up a ton of fantasy points to opposing big men. Jusuf Nurkic should eat all game long. I love Jusuf Nurkic here versus the Brooklyn Nets. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video, or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.